Hello.
And welcome to Film Bastards.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to episode 525. It is a numeric palindrome, motherfuckers, of Film Bastards. My name is Ian Loring, and as always, I'm joined by...
Matt Foster, hello everybody.
And Becky Foster, hello everybody.
Becky almost forgot she was here. Coming up on this week's show, we are going to be covering Matthew Vaughan's new spy caper action comedy thingy, Argylle, and that's it.
It's a weird show, isn't it? Yeah, we're just doing one review.
Yeah, it's an odd one. American Fiction I couldn't get to before recording, and can you guys get to it in the week?
Yeah.
Cool. So we'll catch up with American Fiction next week. I've already seen Iron Claw. We'll talk about it next week as well. So we'll be back to double review next week. But yeah, Argylle, and I think there's probably plenty to talk about with Argylle actually. Also got some movie news, some sad movie news as well. I think some trailers. It's definitely one that I can think of. And some what we've been up to. We are a Pod Syndicate podcast, so please do listen to like-minded shows such as Chin Stroker versus Punter, the Rewatch Project, The Good, Bad, The Odd, and others. And here we go. So, movie news. I know there has been some. I can't remember what it was.
Well, I mean, we lost Carl Weathers, didn't we?
Oh, for fuck's sake, Ian. I literally just said there was some sad news and it completely drops out of my head. Yeah, Carl Weathers, 76, died in his sleep. I'm glad he hopefully didn't feel anything. Kind of the way I want to go out. But, man, dude was still around. He was in a Super Bowl ad. That was going to be happening next week. He was directing episodes of The Mandalorian. He probably would have been in the Mandalorian film. Man, the dude was still fucking alive and vital and with it, and it sucks.
Yeah, he directed 10 episodes. He directed 2 episodes of... was in 10 episodes of The Mandalorian and directed 2 episodes. And got nominated for a Primetime Emmy.
And I remember him saying that it was some of the most creatively fulfilling work he's done in ages because he's got a creative in with it as well, directorially, not just the acting. I mean, it sucks. It's we are, such is life. We're gonna get to the point where folks like these are going to start passing, but it's just the fact that it wasn't like he'd basically semi-retired, he'd been out of the spotlight for 10 years, then passed away. He was still vital, man.
Yeah, he was still making stuff. It's I think we were saying the day, it's just 76 doesn't feel old nowadays. No. And I know previously it did, but nowadays it kind of doesn't. And I think maybe because he went away from film for quite a while and went into TV, but he was still working quite consistently. But yeah, I mean, fucking hell, the guy was Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
I mean, he was Dylan, that son of a bitch.
Yeah. Action Jackson is a much underrated film.
It's fun as Action Jackson.
It's a really fun, of that ilk of 80s kind of, cop action with a touch of kind of comedy in them. Action Jackson's it's a bit of a VHS rental classic. Is Action Jackson?
But but that's the one that didn't quite pan out in terms of what it did for his career, and then I
mean, weird thing was, it was it didn't pan out, but it did well. The film. I think they couldn't get a sequel off the ground, not because of it wasn't popular or anything like that. It seemed to be just the pieces didn't fall into place. But the film made a decent chunk of money off a relatively, even for the time, a relatively small budget.
Quite. Yeah. I don't know. It quite upset me, this one. And I'm so glad he kind of had that final act with the Mandalorian, because he is like a really big part of it as well. And just the fact that he managed to be, his last like big screen role was like a good guy helping Mando, and he's bloody good in it. But he's also got a little bit of roguish fucking charm as well. Yeah, sucks. Fucking rest in peace. Absolute titan.
Yeah, just charismatic as fuck, but really good at the dramatic stuff. You know, people often, I think, remember Weathers from the Rocky movies, and you'll look at like the first Rocky, which he's very good in, and then you'll also look at like Rocky 4, but in Rocky 3, he's fucking great, like legit great in that movie, and like lifting Rocky off the ground and getting him to back to go for it. You know, and I thought Stallone's bit that he came out and did, where he basically said, "Look, Carl Weathers and Apollo Creed was as big a part of Rocky as anything else."
Yeah.
You know, he was a huge part of this thing. You know, I wouldn't be where I am now without Carl Weathers. And he was also, what everyone seems to say the same thing about him, like unprompted, has said, look, great athlete, great actor, but just a really great person. Like, a really great person to be around.
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger said the same thing, was, you know, it was great working with him like that. He said, but the best thing about Carl Weathers was he was just great to be around. He was just a fun guy to spend time with. And that must be fucking cool.
Yeah.
Sucks. Really, really sucks. But yeah, and that's the thing. It's never heard. Yeah, you never heard anything about him bad.
No.
Never, ever, ever. Yeah. Okay. So, what else have we got? Just looking through Deadline.
I think it's been relatively quiet again, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Sundance has been happening.
Everything seems to have quietened down because everyone's just waiting for the fact that there's going to be some Super Bowl trailers in a few weeks. There's going to be a Deadpool 3 trailer.
Yeah, you would think so, wouldn't you? You would fucking think so.
I think that's going to be the big Super Bowl trailer. I think is going to be the Deadpool trailer.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's move on then, because I think you're quite right. Trailers. What have you guys got?
Long Legs. Film the trailer looks interesting. Michael Monroe and Nicolas Cage. You don't see Nicolas Cage, but you definitely hear him making some noises that are unmistakably cagey. But my problem
Cajun.
with this... Yes. My problem with this film is terrible name for a film.
It's not great, is it?
Yeah, it's not great.
It's just, you know, when people when there's a very much a modern euphemism of things giving you the ick. The name of this film gives me the ick.
Yeah.
Long Legs.
It's just icky. It just have a better title.
Yeah.
There must be a better title in the movie.
It's not good.
Good trailer though.
Good trailer.
Good trailer. It's good like creepy horror trailer. Do you know what's not a good creepy horror trailer? Tarot.
No.
What's that?
Tarot. It stars Spider-Man's mate.
What, fucking Jacob Bachachacha?
Yeah.
Batala
Yeah.
Banterman.
Spider-Man's big mate.
Jacob Banterman.
Jacob Banterman, yeah. Him,
Yeah.
right? It's a trailer for a movie called Tarot, where it's tarot readings. Visually, you can barely make out what's happening. It is that dark green colour, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it got to the end of the trailer, and I turned to Bex and just went, that was fucking boring. And it was a trailer, and I am bored.
It just feels like it's just what whoever's like written it / made it, whatever, has just watched a lot of horror movies and gone, yep, we like that, we like that, we like that, we like that.
Yeah.
But nothing seems to go.
Yeah, but like there is, even within the trailer, there is a rip-off of Talk to Me, a movie that isn't even a year old.
Yeah.
A jump scare that is a straight rip-off from Sinister.
Yeah.
And then just a load of beats that you're going, wow, this is like my beginner's guide to first horror. It just, this looks fucking awful.
Doesn't look good.
And for you to say this doesn't look good, Becky.
I mean, I'll watch it.
I know you watch it.
But it doesn't look good.
But yeah, it looks like an absolute heap of crap.
Yeah.
And moving on from heaps of crap, Ian.
Yeah.
Wind you up and set you fucking going. The Back to Black trailer.
Oh God. Right. Okay. So I was just in a good mood. Right. Because I did that kind of thing that you do with travel. Like, so I've been looking at hotels in Bahrain, seeing if like I could get any better hotels because I got free cancellation with my one. And my one is doing the exact same type of room for 120 quid less than I paid for it. So I just cancelled the fucker and rebooked it at a lower price.
Fair.
That's 120 quid back in my pocket.
That pays for one of your nights out.
I mean, not entirely sure what nights out I'm going to have in Bahrain, mate, if I'm honest. But even though Diplo is playing the post-race concert.
Wow.
Yeah. But I've got about 6 hours from the end of the race to my flight. And I want to make sure I'm at the airport in good time.
Yeah,
so
you definitely want to get stuck in Bahrain, do you?
No. I will definitely be not checking out Diplo. By the way, are we still all right to record the Wednesday that week? And it gives me something to do on one of the nights in my hotel room by myself.
Yeah, which week is that?
It's like the last week of February.
Yeah, I believe so, but I'm very certain. I think we checked that the other week, didn't we? Yeah.
I want to say it's Wednesday the 28th.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can do that Wednesday.
Yeah, nice. I'm 3 hours ahead as well, so we can record whatever time. I can be pretty flexible, but it'll give me something to do in the evening because the Bahrain nightlife's probably not going to be nice. The hotel looks nice, don't get me wrong, but yeah. Anyway, so I was in a good mood, and then you started talking about Back to Black. So we've already kind of went over it when the teaser trailer came out like a month or so ago.
Yeah.
And this is the trailer. This is the US trailer, even though I imagine the UK trailer maybe will be the same. Framing this as an epic love story is genuinely one of the most offensive pieces of marketing I think I've ever seen.
Yep.
I cannot believe that is the angle that they are taking with this film. Like a troubled drug addict woman getting with an absolute piece of shit drug addict who made things worse. Epic love story, sure. Eddie Marzan in this, it looks like they've completely cuddly-ified Mitch Winehouse.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the YouTube description seems to paint the picture that it's going to basically go up to her winning the Mercury. And then what? There's going to be a title card saying 3 years later, Amy had a drug overdose and was found dead by herself. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it does seem a little bit. It just smacks very much of the Bohemian Rhapsodies of let's tell all of the good bits. But let's not tell them truthfully. Let's just make it seem like she wasn't a bit of a dickhead. She was just a troubled
that'll be why they're
soul.
avoiding the last 3 years, because she was, wasn't she?
Yeah, but there's a point where she might have been a dickhead beforehand.
Well, yeah.
I mean, the fact is, the other bit that's kind of irking me is they're telling the story that is her leading up to Back to Black. So they're going to cover like the first album and bits like this, they're getting signed or anything like that. But they're using a visual of her post that. Because if you look at Amy Winehouse from around her first album, she didn't look like that.
No, she didn't.
Because she ended up looking like that because she was a drug addict.
Yeah.
You know, an addiction's a terrible thing, and not having a go at a woman for being a drug addict. But it is one of those things where you can be a drug addict and just be a dick at the same time, and being a drug addict just makes you a bit more of a dickhead. You know, Pete Doherty is a dickhead, happened to be a drug addict, which made him more of a dickhead. Don't know, there are plenty of people who are dickheads because they're drug addicts. I just feel like this is going to be one of those ones where people are going to watch this and go, "Oh, wasn't it terrible?" And you're going to go, I mean, I went to see her when she was literally like spitting on people and walking off after 2 songs.
Yeah.
And just like leaving her dancers there going, "This is embarrassing. What do we do now?"
Yeah.
And that didn't even happen once, did it? That was twice.
Yeah.
I mean, and also just the way they're framing this and the way it kind of feels like. I mean, we were talking about it on the boy chat, and like Noel was saying, I quote, "I think it'll do well, especially on that marketing. It'll attract loads of groups of women and will shift a fuck ton of sparkling pink wine." And then he followed that up with, "Let's see which chain massively fucks up with some inappropriate 2-for-1 Amy wine offer."
Yep.
With the quote, "You won't be able to say no, no, no to our fantastic Prosecco offer."
Yeah.
And straight up, I could see Odeon doing that.
Yep.
And the thing is, this is a sanctioned, authorised biopic. It's not going to do this. But if they are just playing a blinder to get people in...
They're not.
And then it like the last like third is just going to be dark and depressing as fuck, you know, and is actually going to try and tell the media ate her up, spat her out, and that, you know, that is what the ending was. Like, don't get me wrong, like from everything you say, Mark, I mean, like I'm sure she was a bellend and the drugs just made her more of a bellend. But there's still the. I remember very, very, very well the absolute circus around her when she wasn't able to do those gigs, and just how much people dug in.
I remember genuinely it will have been the Sun ran a thing once where you could text in to say who you thought would be found dead first, Amy Winehouse or Pete Doherty.
Yeah.
And it was like, holy fucking shit. And then, literally like 6 months later, Amy Winehouse was found dead.
Do you know what though? I reckon if GB News tried that now, they'd get a bunch of shit. They'd also get a bunch of people like saying like, "Oh, you like fucking woke mind virus is making people soft, and these are drug addicts and they deserve to have the piss taken out of them," or what. You know, I do wonder what way culture would actually go if someone tried that kind of shit now. Because I think there'd be a backlash, but then there'd be a backlash to the backlash.
Someone would do it big just to create, because it isn't about. I mean, GB News isn't about news because it isn't officially technically a news show, even though it's called GB News. But it isn't
current affairs, isn't it? So
it's a magazine show.
Any MP can go on there and say anything.
Yeah. But it isn't designed to do anything. It isn't designed to inform. It is designed to literally attract clicks. That is its whole raison d'etre.
I'm assuming you guys are aware of Neil Patrick Harris's Amy Winehouse cake that he served at a Halloween party, aren't you?
Yeah,
No.
I've kind of forgotten about it.
What?
'Cause can you imagine someone doing that right now?
I mean, again, Neil Patrick
What was the
Harris,
cake?
a guy who has got away with being a kind of a dickhead for a lot of years.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got massive hidden cunt energy to him.
Yeah,
Like that guy. So,
He's only a few years away from like somebody coming out and going, no, he's a piece of shit. He's going to get Ellened at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
only way he hasn't so far is he's kind of taken himself out of the limelight a little bit, and he's just raising his kids with his partner, which maybe is a bit like, I'm a bit of a cunt. I need to stop being a cunt now.
Yeah.
Even though it did make me laugh that he was recently in Doctor Who and he was interviewed. He was just like, yeah, I had no idea what Doctor Who was. It was just a part. And it kind of like pissed off quite a lot of Doctor Who fans. And I'm a little bit like, no, if you're pissed off about that, I think you probably need to have a bit of a look in the mirror there.
I would say that, yeah, if you're pissed off at that, I would also say, right, I don't believe you, Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, I don't know, man. If he'd heard of Doctor Who, you'd say it in, when promoting being in Doctor Who. I don't think you'd say, well, no, I'd never heard of it before I got offered the role. He says, like, oh, the role was actually really interesting and it was fun and I got to play multiple characters and stuff like that. And he's actually not bad in it, but, yeah, anyway. What was the cake?
Do you want to see it?
Is that real? Did he really serve that as a cake at a party?
Yeah.
Oh, go on.
Fucking hell. How is that guy still getting work anywhere?
Fuck off. No. No.
I mean...
That can't... No. That's so much worse than it... What did he think she died of?
I think that's her rotting...
Oh, is that what... That's really upsetting.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And, like,
Is it
people
wrong
have-
that I kind of want to know what the cake tasted like?
That... Neil Patrick Harris presented that at a Halloween party.
Yeah. That's his name, isn't it? The Barney man. Barney.
Yeah.
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 Just, folks, Google it. What?
Yeah, piece of shit, isn't he?
I tell you what. Again, you do that now, you're getting cancelled, and a year down the line, he's turning up with Gina Carano and Lawrence Fox on one of those Daily Wire, whatever it's called, films.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bloody hell.
Yeah,
I liked Gina Carano jumping on the Carl Weathers train, by the way, saying, like, oh, he called me when I got fired from The Mandalorian and told me to keep going. I don't think anybody wants to hear from you, Gina, but good stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, all you've done there is prove that he's a nice guy and that you're still a shit.
Back to Black. Look, it's so weird that Sam Taylor Johnson's directing this. I feel it's weird. Like the girl playing Amy Winehouse was interviewed, I think, by The Guardian or The Observer last week. It was on the Guardian app anyway. And I am wondering when the what the fuck is this is going to start. I'm surprised Film Twitter hasn't been doing that more, given how, frankly, sensitive a lot of film Twitter can be to having offence to something. I feel like this is a particularly egregious example, but, hey, it's a trailer. Maybe, but I'll watch it because I feel like I'll need to have an opinion on it. But I mean, man, at the moment, Jason Reitman and Gil Keenan, I think you boys might be off the hook.
Well, let's see, because Ghostbusters Frozen Empire trailer also came out.
Just chock full of lovely Easter eggs. Easter eggs all over the place for us lovely shit munchers. Num 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 num. I like this. I'm not going to question the quality of the film because Annie Potts is a Ghostbuster. Num 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 num.
It's just...
There you go.
I'm actually really looking forward to this, so I'm a shit muncher.
Yeah. Num 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 num.
Do you know one thing that is... Do you know one thing that is baffling me about it, though?
Go on.
Right.
Sorry, but yes, I did, but you shouldn't be listening. Yeah, okay. Sorry, Max. Sorry, guys.
I don't get where the whole filmmakers of this. I don't know where they seem to think that people's focus of knowledge of Ghostbusters comes from. Because if you go back, everyone looks at Slimer, and Slimer's in this. But he's not in the films. It's the TV series, the cartoon that he was in.
Yeah. Which
doesn't seem to actually be a thing anymore. And he's not like rerun or anything like that. So it's... Slimer isn't in this because of a character base. It is just brand recognition Slimer.
Num, 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 num.
And he is literally num, 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 num. Yeah, but it is... I just...
Num, 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 num.
I don't... I can't even remember. Why does no one remember the Ghostbusters?
You are.
Why does no one remember the Ghostbusters?
Oh,
In the
yeah,
film.
they're kind of, yeah, like, why aren't they world famous?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, that feels like something that would still be spoken about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, quite a lot. But like,
that's the thing,
everybody's
it's
just
not-
forgot. It's like, no, they won't. A giant marshmallow man walked around in New York. No, people don't... I don't care if there weren't fucking camera phones back then.
Yeah.
People don't forget that shit.
Covered up.
Look, I like that Ernie Hudson apparently is now like the rich, benevolent benefactor that's like getting the Ghostbusters back together. I think that's great that Ernie Hudson is actually hopefully going to get his due in one of these films. Cool. That's ace. I think the Frozen kind of whole thing, I think, is an interesting idea. It's just the characters they set up in that first one, I could not give a flying... Gonna close the door. Fuck about.
It lost me at when they unleashed the drone fucking ghost catcher thing. No.
Yeah,
You
Paul
can
Rudd.
hit me with all the negativity you want. I think this looks good.
And it's got triangle face in it, so...
I don't mind triangle face.
I'm not a fan of triangle face.
Who's Triangle Face?
Finn Wolfhard.
Oh, yeah, okay. Maybe I get killed off. Maybe I get murdered by Slimer.
What they need to do after this one is retire the old Ghostbusters and just let the new cast carry it, because I know you don't like them, and I know Ian doesn't like them, but those men look hella old.
Oh, you know,
in
like,
this trailer.
it wouldn't... If halfway through the movie it turned out that fucking Bill Murray was actually dead and was just a ghost of a Ghostbuster, I don't think you need to put any makeup on the twat right now.
No.
Look, Dan Aykroyd is going to be in every single one of these.
Oh, God,
because
yes.
he loves it, you know. And I don't know.
He actually looks right. It's Bill Murray. Bill Murray is...
I
Yeah,
hope
yeah.
it's good. I hold out little hope that it actually will be good.
Look, I mean, I said I wasn't going to see it. Who am I fooling? Of course I'm going to go watch it. Like, you know, I really, really don't need Paul Rudd being a man boy through the entire thing, which it feels like. Like when he said about like busting makes me feel good at the end. No.
Num, 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 num,
But the
num.
thing is,
no.
but people know the song, but they don't know that the Ghostbusters were a thing.
I'm glad this is becoming a thing. That's great. Sorry, Mark.
I am happy to be a shit muncher for this.
Oh,
I'm
num
excited.
num num num.
Num, 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 num.
Oh God, I'm sorry, Mark. That's really got me. That's
No, that's fine. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Yes, please.
Oh,
I want
no,
this in
yeah.
my eyes right now.
Num 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 num. This is me.
We
This is me.
We watched the trailer for Longlegs, and at the end of it, I was like, "You had me at Nicolas Cage." With this, it's like you had me at Henry Cavill. The only Henry Cavill properties I will not watch is anything that's got that fucking idiot girl from Stranger Things in. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'd watch him play fucking Warcraft. I'd watch him paint D&D figurines. Like, he's just such a, like, he's got a real good energy to him. Like, he's just... I'm so excited for the Highlander remake.
He does seem like he's just a fun guy to be around.
It's not fair because he's such a fucking nerd, but he gets to look like that.
It's
all the nerds in the world are looking at him thinking, you fucking twat.
The best Henry Cavill, not Henry Cavill in movie thing that isn't that video of him building a gamer PC is, was it the Oscars where he popped out some Girl Scout cookies and just started eating them?
Nice.
And Chris Evans asked him, wait, are they Girl Scout cookies? And he's just like nods at him. And Chris Evans just can't stop laughing. But it's the face that Henry Cavill, again, terrible for podcasting, but Google it. It's the face that Henry Cavill has when he's nodding about his Girl Scout cookies. It's just fucking perfection.
It's like a real naughty little face.
Yeah, I'll find it. Talk about the film and I'll find it.
No, I want to know how many hot women he's talked to about Warhammer in his life.
Oh dear.
I did like yeah. Yeah. I mean, he is having the life we all want to have.
Yeah,
that's it. It's great, and I mean this film. I didn't realise it was produced by Jerry Bruckheimer.
Yes,
and the idea of Guy Ritchie working with Jerry Bruckheimer is incredibly exciting to me.
Yeah, because you know that they're going to make sure... Bruckheimer will make sure this film is marketed well in America.
Yeah, bloody right. Oh, hang on. You just... Good. Yeah. Yeah, just Chris Evans. And, like Chadwick Boseman in the fucking foreground as well. Oh, shit. Like, yeah, Chris Evans just laughing there. Like, yeah, are those Girl Scout cookies? Yeah, they are. You know, like, that's some real genuine, I'm having a fun time laugh shit. That, yeah, good. But this film looks good.
Yeah,
it feels like good, big screen, dumb, fun, directed well, telling a good story. Yeah, why not? Well into it.
Yeah, that's it. And it's... I mean, Henry Cavill just sticking his tongue out every time he starts shooting everything. It's just... I really hope it is, like bang on fucking 2 hours long, gets in and just gets shit done.
Mm. Yeah, there've been some really, really good trailers the last few weeks. Like it feels like we're gonna be all right this year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think we very much are. Yeah.
You know, with the strikes and whatnot, it was a little bit. Are things going to be okay? And like certainly, like January and February have been maybe a touch light, but yeah.
But March 1st, we've got Dune Part 2.
Yep.
Woo!
And then we've got Furiosa not too far after.
Are you aware that they're reshowing Dune on the IMAX?
With some Dune Part 2 shit
next
on it as well, apparently.
Next Friday.
Yeah.
We're a fucking gig.
Yeah, we are at a gig.
That's fine. I'll allow it. Oh, it's on Saturday as well.
I'm not going through to York on Saturday to watch that. You can go on your own, babe.
Sunday?
No.
Monday?
No. Anyway.
Yeah, sorry.
Any other trailers?
I think that'll do it for me.
Yeah, I don't think we've got any.
Right. Noel's just texted me about Legend of Zelda Lego. Oh, god damn it. I already want to spend £200 on a bloody Lego Technic Mercedes F1 car that just got announced last week. I honestly might ask Donna to get me that for my birthday.
They are fun to build.
40th birthday, here's some Lego.
My mum got me some for my 40th that was Lego.
Yeah.
It felt right.
Just embrace it. I need non-Lewis Hamilton branded Mercedes merchandise anyway.
You do now, yeah.
He's gonna fucking rue the day. No, he's not. He's gonna have a great time. He's gonna have a great time. I can't even say that without just going, no, he won't. It's Ferrari. It's Ferrari. Even if he's not that competitive, he gets to wear the red and race for Ferrari till the end of his career. Fucking asshole. Right. He's not an asshole. He's great. I don't mean it. I don't know why I'm saying that like he's listening. Right, okay. Anyway, let's stop talking about that. Between that and Klopp, bad couple of weeks for us.
Yeah, an emotional time.
Fucking, I'm glad I'm actually going to get to see Hamilton racing for Mercedes in the flesh. Like, I've timed that well.
Wait, so he's racing for Mercedes this coming season?
Yeah, it's Ferrari next year.
So he's going to race for Mercedes this year, but has already told them that he's not going to be there next year.
Mate, this is one of the beautiful things about F1, right? It doesn't usually happen this early, but you will have drivers announce during the season, yeah, I'm off to another, or teams going, yeah, we're getting rid of, and they still have to drive for him. Yeah.
That's
Carlos
wild.
Sainz has got to drive for Ferrari for a year, knowing they're shit canning him.
That's fucking wild, that.
It's great.
I figured literally that city was just Ferrari now.
No. So, sorry, anyone not interested in the F1 stuff, apologies, I'll be quick. So, he signed a 2-year deal for this year and next year that was announced at the end of August last year. And they just said it was a 2-year deal. It's now come out that there was a break clause after the first year, and Hamilton just exercised that break clause and went, I'm out. So Mercedes have got to put him up for a year and let him drive. Basically, eke him out of meetings because they could be talking about next year's stuff. And Carlos Sainz has got a year to find a seat. He'll get a seat easily, but he's got a year driving for Ferrari. He was the only non-Red Bull driver to win a race last year, and they still shit-canned him. But you would, because it's Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc is Ferrari through and through. You could cut that guy and his, the marrow would be the fucking red Ferrari logo. So yeah, this is that, and that's the great soap opera of it all, mate. Part of it, the fact that you'll have these relationships where it's like, how much effort do they put into him? Yeah. How much effort are they going to put into supporting Lewis Hamilton this season? Why would they?
Yeah,
other than they got the Constructors' Championship, but
just at a pit stop, just take all his wheels off and just don't put any more on.
But mate, seriously, he's going to Ferrari where they have had some absolute clangers with pit stops. They brought out the wrong tyres for one of their drivers on one of them.
Can I just say, Ian?
One of them.
I know this isn't what happened, but in my brain, someone's bringing out like a fucking wagon, like an old school fucking Wild West wagon fucking tyre out. Going, shit, it's the wrong one.
That would be incredible. The thing is, they are all colour-coded, so he saw all the other people with the right colour tyre and didn't realise, I've got the wrong colour tyre until they started trying to put it on.
Oh, man.
It's great. Well, there was another one as well where they told, I think it was Charles Leclerc, told him to box, to pit, and then as he's going up the pit lane, went, no, don't do it. And then he's just like, I'm coming in. And because they told both of them to pit at the same time, so then he just has to wait for the other one to pit before he can pit. Ferrari, mate, oh, man. I mean, it'd be so funny if they do that to Lewis Hamilton. Because he's really, really media trained. And he'll just have to be so passive-aggressive. But he won't be able to say anything. But anyway, good luck, Lewis. I kind of mean it. Argylle. Argylle is directed by Matthew Vaughn and stars Henry Cavill, Bryce Dallas Howard, Sam Rockwell, Bryan Cranston, Dua Lipa, Ariana DeBose, kinda for both of those two. I mean, Richard E. Grant is here. I think he's in one shot.
Yep.
John Cena, and others. So, a reclusive author who writes espionage novels about a secret agent and a global spy syndicate realises the plot of the new book she's writing starts to mirror real-world events in real time. Well, not really, because like she can't remember. She's like trying to think what she would do.
But the film does give that impression that that is what's happening there.
Yeah, I suppose so. Okay, so look. Oh, my gain's suddenly gone really down. That's weird. Oh, I don't want to mess. Hang on. Oh no, it's been like this all the time. Okay. Hang on. Sorry, this is very bad of me. I just want to. No, I can't. All right. I don't know what I'm recording into. I thought it was the Yeti. I think it is. Anyway, sorry. So, right, all spoilers all the time. There are... I mean, Argylle is nothing if it's not a film with twists.
It's alright, though, because it provides you with a really clear roadmap as to where it's going, so it's alright.
I was going to start with Becky. Becky was not super enthused about going to see Argylle. Did say, people can nope out of these things, but...
Seeing as it was the only one that we were doing, though, I figured I probably should.
Yeah, I bribed you with breakfast, didn't I?
You did bribe me with breakfast. And a gift that did not materialise. So
you didn't see anything you wanted?
I did.
Oh, what?
That ring. But I wasn't 100% on it.
Well, there you go, then.
Next time we go.
Carry on.
I should have put a ring on it. Becky, what did you think?
I mean, to get the obvious one out of the way, it's far too fucking long. It does...
Far too long.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, now that sounded louder, yeah?
Yeah?
Sorry. Testing. Okay. I'm sorry, Becky. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to... I don't know how well I'm coming out here. Apologies if I sound like shit today. I'll fix it next week. Sorry, Becky, carry on.
It's not as bad as I anticipated. What I was hoping was that Sam Rockwell would be able to save it, and he does to an extent. Not completely, because it's not great, but he's what makes it bearable. He's actually genuinely very, very fucking good in this. Like a pleasure to watch. We were saying, weren't we, after we'd watched it, it's like it has an idea, and then the idea's fine, and it's actually kind of fun, and then the idea goes on for like 15 minutes. Like, it just, everything they do overstays its welcome. Like I mean, I know you fucking loved it from start to finish, but the fight scene that they're having with the smoke canister things, that's really fun, but it lasts too long. The ice skating thing on the oil is fine, but it lasts too long. Even having a little bit where she's like Bucky Barnes by Moira from Schitt's Creek, it would be fine, but it goes on too long.
You mean Delia from Beetlejuice? The fuck did you just do?
But like, I think
a lot of people would say Moira for Schitt's Creek these days, Mark. We've lost that battle.
And a lot of people can fuck off and die.
She's fucking great in this as well. Bryan Cranston's really quite fun in it.
Or from Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah, do you know what? Henry Cavill's hair upset me.
He's flat top.
I don't like that at all. Dua Lipa was actually alright in it. I was expecting her to be just a disaster, but she's fine in it. She's not in it for very
She could have been in it more, man.
Yeah. She's certainly got a lot more charisma than the main actress that's in it. But yeah, it's fine. It thinks it's really clever and it's not, and I hate that. I really hate smug films, and this is smug.
Yeah. Okay,
Vaughn is a bit of a smug filmmaker.
I mean that's the thing, innit? the Kingsman films, I'll talk about them later, but there is an air of... I'm being quite clever here, aren't I? I'm being quite daring. But then, like,
He has
Kingsman...
got a real twisted fucking mind. Annie.
But, well, yeah, I don't know, like Kingsman, like, where it's that... The bit where, like, it's, Land... Is it Land of Hope and Glory? It's, like, all those heads are blowing up. And it's, like, all... Like, it's basically everybody who sided with Samuel L. Jackson, so... A lot of the government of the free world, their heads all just blowing up and stuff. That's great, you know, and that feels quite cheeky and daring and whatnot. I think, yeah, I admit, Mark. So Argylle, I'm kind of intrigued as to what you thought about Bryce Dallas Howard in this more than anything else, if I'm honest.
I quite like Bryce Dallas Howard. I like her as a screen presence.
They did a real dirty with that outfit.
Little bit dirty with the outfit, yeah.
What towards the end?
The glamorous outfit, fucking hell.
Yeah.
When the one thing you've got going for you is you've got really kick-ass fucking red hair. No, don't do that.
Yeah, when the person who did that bob looks like it was a dad who was having to do it because the mum was away. It had very strong that energy to it.
That's good.
But I quite like it. I think she's a fun screen presence. I think that there's little quirks within it. The bit where she's got to run and she takes off the stilettos as a kind of nod to everybody getting in their panties and what about the Jurassic World stuff, I thought was quite fun there. I thought she pulled off the action bits well.
Did you?
I did, Becky. I know you didn't.
I just don't think she moves well.
Right.
Like, for the choreography kind of side of it.
And I think that is because there was too much of everything. I didn't realise before the film started that it was a 12A, and then when the 12A came up, I was like, ooh, I have a feeling that might bite this film in the arse, and it does. It really does bite the film in the arse that it's a 12A. I don't get why it's a 12A and not just have it be a 15 and let Matthew Vaughn do his thing. Because I just don't think there's anybody like under fucking like 15 who's going, do you know what? I really want to see that new Matthew Vaughn movie.
Yeah.
Unless I don't know, but I just felt I think it did suffer from it. There was bits where you were looking at going, based on his previous films, that would have been quite a gory looking scene, but there's no blood in it because it's a 12A.
Oh, the skating one.
No, in everything.
Oh, right, okay.
In all the battles, there's basically no blood because it's a 12A.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I was howling with laughter during the dance in the smoke thing. Fucking brilliant. Genuinely, just I was getting to a low energy point with it where I was struggling with it a little bit. Then that happened and I was like, nah, fuck off. All is forgiven, Matthew. All is forgiven. This is fucking great. And then he puts another set piece in that was an absolute piece of shit. And then it goes on for
like another 25 minutes.
Yeah.
But the skating on the oil bit shouldn't be in it. It's a nonsense. And it's not even very good, and it's not even fun to watch. It's shit. Take that out of it, and you're making the film like 6 or 7 minutes shorter, and it's better for it.
Is that all it is? 6 or 7 minutes? It felt like about an hour.
It felt too long, and I was saying to you as we came out, with this film, that there has to be the element of suspension of belief. So you have to suspend belief that could happen, that a woman would be able to skate just on some knives dug into her boot. Fine, I'm okay with that. I was on board with that. But you have to then suspend belief to go, hang on a minute, if she's skating on those knives, that is going to create some form of spark, which is going to blow this up.
Which, when you've already, as a plot point, addressed the fact
that there can't be sparks there. There is too many. That is just Matthew Vaughn and James Fuchs, who wrote it, just having all of these fucking cakes around them when they're writing and making the film and just fucking eating fucking all of them. And it's a little bit like, no. Sorry, no.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. There's the bit about the shooting him through the bit that meant that actually he wouldn't get shot through the heart, and yeah, she did that. She got that idea from a fan who emailed her, and then it's like, that's the most stupid thing I ever heard. Yeah, but it worked, didn't it? Kind of like that kind of. But we're film watchers watching a film.
Yeah.
And just because you're calling it out that it's really, really stupid, and then in the film you're saying, yeah, it worked, but it is actually a stupid thing when watching a film. So you're being quite clever calling that out there. No, you're not. It plays itself. It's a weird moment.
There's a few moments like that, but Sam Rockwell is basically just let off the leash to do Sam Rockwell-y things, which is always going to be great. It's like my one's gone. Sam, you're going to get to a lot of dancing. Dancing's going to be a big part of your character. And that works out really fucking well for it.
But that's the thing. It's like, but that's the thing where it's quite knowing and it's quite meta. If you know that Sam Rockwell has a penchant for dancing in films,
yeah,
which is just num. That is a weird kind of Easter eggy kind of thing, but it's not calling itself out within the film itself. Yeah, and also the Bucky Barnes the thing towards the end, right? That is fucking dumb, especially considering how many times could they have done that to her?
Yeah,
at points in that film.
Yeah,
yeah,
it goes on for too long. It takes you all the way to one side, and then it takes you all the way back to the other side, and it's just a little bit like.
But the thing is, I think one of the things that made me angry about this movie, and it's highlighted by the post-credit scene as well, how fucking arrogant is Matthew Vaughn?
Very, he is actually
like, he has vastly overestimated the cultural impact of the Kingsman movies to put that in as the post-credits and think anyone's going to give a shit. But
right, okay, I'll stop you there. I swear to God, someone on my row pointed at the screen and shouted, "Kingsman!"
Yeah, but that's...
And it wasn't me.
What?
The pub is called Kingsman. Like, it's so arrogant. And the film is arrogant because it's like he's gone, we're going to have this extra bit in here where this happens, and it's going to go on for quite a while because everyone's going to be really in it.
I find it really amusing how badly Matthew Vaughn has taken not getting the gig to direct a Bond movie.
Oh yeah, because his comment on casting Henry Cavill was Bond related.
Yeah, basically that
he wanted to get the kind of person that would play Bond before Bond got him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I needed someone who was born to play Bond.
Play James Bond, which Henry is, and then nick him before Bond's studio did.
He plays a larger-than-life action hero with a wink. It's very different from Kingsman. No, it's not.
It's not.
The only difference between this and Kingsman, because you actually tie them in together at the end, is this is a 12A. Look, and I enjoyed it. Overall, I had a good time with the film. I think it's fun. I think it's quite throwaway. I find it amusing that it cost $250 million apparently, and even Matthew Vaughn's gone, no it didn't.
No, he sold it to Apple for $200 million.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
That's what it is.
It cost $200 million. Apple bought it. It cost Apple $200 million.
Yeah.
Because this is the thing. Vaughn self-finances all this stuff and then just sells it to studios. It's why he can do, basically, if he wanted to, he can do a Kingsman cinematic universe because Fox doesn't own it. He does.
Yeah.
He owns Argylle. Like, what they can do with it. Like,
but the Kingsman movies are not very good.
I like the Kingsman movies.
Oh, well, I'll talk about the Kingsman films. I think they're great. I'll talk about them in a bit.
Overall, I enjoyed Argylle. Sam Rockwell's great. I enjoy Bryce Dallas Howard. I know you don't like her, Becky, but you have to just move on. Henry Cavill's flat top is fun, I thought. Fucking, what's his name? John Cena wears the shit out of a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
I get the feeling like he now has in his contract that he's got to wear a Hawaiian shirt in every movie he's in because it's happening a lot. I'm starting to get a little bit weirded out by the fact that there's a lot of fights. There's a lot of movies where there's action set pieces on trains now, but we'll come back to that at some point. Dua Lipa's fine in it. Ariana DeBose is a charisma vacuum.
And I mean, like, Ariana DeBose has less screen time than Dua Lipa, and Dua Lipa is basically in it for a dance.
Yeah. Dua Lipa is in it for a slow motion dance
They're
scene.
both in... Sorry, I think it's incredible that they were both trailered in the... Like, they had their names in the marketing. And I get it with Dua Lipa, but Ariana DeBose, yeah, okay, she's an Oscar winner, but I don't think people necessarily know who she is. And she is barely in this. Like, I mean, what? She's in, like, 2 shots towards the start, and then she's in a scene at the end.
Yeah. I will say one thing, though, of someone that I thought was a little bit meh in it.
Sam Jack?
No, I thought Sam Jackson was great in it.
I thought he was doing Sam Jack, but yeah.
I thought he was, but I thought at least I'm fine with that. But I thought Bryan Cranston was just, really? Is this... You seem like you're half asleep doing this. It's just real... I've learnt the lines, I haven't done anything else. Energy from him.
I feel like Sophia Boutella was better in it than the actual size of the part she should have been. She had like a real kind of odd quality to her in that scene.
She was the keeper of secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she was alright.
I actually quite liked her in this. She's the one that's in that awful Mummy movie, isn't she? Yeah.
Yeah,
she's she's the kind of like the odd job figure in the first Kingsman as well.
She is, isn't she? Yeah.
She's good in it as well.
Yeah,
like, really.
She's very much what if Gal Gadot wasn't a twat.
I hope Rebel Moon 2 gives us some more acting to do, but we'll see. Yeah. Look, I mean, for what it's worth as well, I think Rockwell's great. I thought Bryce Dallas Howard's. It's. I think it's an interesting role to give to an actress like her, to be honest. And she definitely plays up the red-headed author better than the blonde bombshell secret agent. But I almost feel like that's kind of the point of the film is, what if this kind of like actress was in this kind of a role? And I thought she acquitted herself like quite well. The kind of like the cinematic universe-iness of it all, I feel like Vaughn's timed it slightly wrong, because like it kind of feels like people are a bit sick of them now. Apart from that one guy it literally did the DiCaprio meme in my screening, and good on him. And hey, look, I mean, yeah, I noticed earlier as well, like, there was the Statesman, like, the whiskey company in the second one, it's like the American Kingsman. There was a Statesman bottle around at one point as well. Like, there are these little bit, like, num Easter eggs. But the thing is, like I say, Vaughn, I kind of respect the fact that Vaughn's just doing all of this. Like, he's raising all the money himself and he's doing all this stuff. The fact that Argylle has not done very well, it's going to be interesting to see what the pivot is now. And Bex, I mean, I will say, like, having the sequel teaser at the end, the Kingsman tie-in, and Argylle Book 1, the movie coming soon. Come on. That is too much. That is too much. Like, you are really, really, like, confident that people are going to want to see more of the Argylle universe. And, like, I feel like this was a decent enough one-off The Lost City meets Total Recall meets Kingsman. Why can't it just be that?
Because everything has to be the start of a franchise nowadays.
Yeah, but not just the franchise, the cinematic universe. You know, like, it. But then again, if we're going to get another Kingsman film with Colin Firth and Taron Egerton, and they meet up with Sam Rockwell and Bryce Dallas Howard, I'm kind of not against it.
That'd be pretty fucking cool.
Fun.
Yeah.
You know, Channing Tatum as well. Why not? You know, like, yeah, I'd watch that.
Yep.
But at the same time, I think this is one of Vaughn's weakest films. The 12A definitely doesn't help. The cat stuff. Oh yeah. Also, the cat is apparently Claudia Schiffer's actual cat.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's the actual cat.
But-
I was watching.
alright.
I was watching a little like making of bit of it, a featurette thing, and the cat just wandered by in the background, and the guy who's doing it goes, "Wait a minute, that's a real cat?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's just my cat."
Scottish folds are ugly cats. They've got real big fat heads. That's another really unrealistic thing in the movie. No cat person would ever go and get in the car with him and leave the cat with
No.
the baddies. Absolutely not.
No.
That made us angry, didn't it?
Yeah, right. You go back for the cat.
You wouldn't have forgot it in
You
the
wouldn't have
first
got the
place.
first place. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be the same with Keeks, to be fair. But look, I mean, yeah, it's definitely not shit.
Definitely not shit.
It is too long, but I think the performances are fun. Couple of the twists I thought worked quite well, and the action was decent. That smoke one with fucking Leona Lewis's cover of Run was just very, like, that was very funny. But I thought it was kind of weirdly sweet, like the way they're kind of like dancing with each other and kind of like finding that old connection. I don't know, that worked for me actually. But yeah, definitely not shit.
Definitely not shit. Next.
I don't feel like I can rate it fairly, so I'm going to abstain. I want to plead the fifth.
You can't do that.
You can't do that.
You can't do that.
Why?
Because you can.
Why?
Cause.
Alright, shit.
Fine.
All right, that's fine. Like, these are subjective opinions. You know, like I'm pretty sure there's a very large chance I'm going to call Ghostbusters Frozen Empire shit, even if I talk quite positively about it.
The thing is, I didn't want to see it. I don't like Bryce Dallas Howard, and I'm not going to pretend that I do. I don't like her gormless face. I don't like her screen presence. I don't think she has a good energy. I don't think she ever is convincing as a human being. She always feels like an actor playing a character rather than the character she's playing. Okay. She's just not. She's so robotic and wooden, and I think she's just shit. But I really tried, and for a bit there, I was kind of like, do you know what? She isn't that bad in this. And then she just fucking was again. And it was like, right, well, I tried. Bryce, you piece of shit, fuck off now. So she ruins it for me. It's not a cinematic masterpiece without her anywhere, and then she spoils it. So yeah, shit.
Our audience poll was definite shit 50% and shit 50%.
Fair.
Oh, do you know what I thought was a bit weird as well? I just remembered. They say, or at least maybe I misheard, but they say at one point, they're kind of like, the bit where Catherine O'Hara's like taking those phone calls earlier on, it's almost like a set on that ship.
Yeah.
Because they've got... Yeah? Do you know what I'm talking about there?
Yeah.
Right. What was that bit where she answered the door to the neighbour about the sugar about then?
No, because she says, doesn't she, we've had a set made here, so that if we do have to come in...
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they did cover that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. That was a weird old moment though. Like just that again, that's just like 30 seconds you can cut out.
Yeah.
Film's already quite long. That's 30 seconds you can cut out.
There's so many
Why is that there?
seconds you could cut out of this movie.
No, yeah, but I mean, I suppose it's kind of like testament to the fact that it does just feel like there's a lot of fat on the film.
Yeah.
You know, like towards the end when they're just constantly cutting to Samuel L. Jackson watching a fucking basketball game.
Yeah. Which I do believe was just Samuel L. Jackson just watching a basketball game.
Yeah.
Also, that bit where she did call her mother.
Yeah.
Why did she call the neighbour's mobile instead of just calling her mother's mobile?
Because she thought the phone might be tapped.
Okay.
The bigger question there is why did she have the neighbour's mobile number? That's
why
weird.
does she have her mum's neighbour's mobile number? Yeah, it's a good point.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Put that
And
in
know
the-
it
off the top of her head,
Yeah.
yeah. She seems like the kind of person that might know numbers off the top of her head.
A bit of an idiot savant.
I mean, she's a best-selling novelist. I don't think she's an idiot, babe.
I mean, she cuts that
Novels
beautiful...
are a bit shit as well, aren't they?
She cuts...
Made me laugh that they're talking about, yeah. because there was that whole bloody conspiracy theory about how, like...
Taylor Swift.
Yeah. I can imagine Taylor Swift writing a spy novel like that, to be honest. I won't lie.
What,
I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah?
I believe it.
It wasn't her.
No, I believe it was probably screenwriter Jason Fuchs.
Well, they've released the novelisation now, haven't they?
Have they?
Yeah.
Sure, that's just a novel.
No, because it's not based on a novel.
Oh, no, I was joking.
What's it fucking called?
Who would read that? It's like that bloody...
Because it's
Ant-Man
fucking arrogant, Ian, and it thinks everyone wants more of it.
Hey, look, I'm buying I'm buying the shit you're selling, Bex. To be honest, I still like the film enough, but I absolutely get why that's annoying, because it is.
It is. About the author. Ellie Conway. Right, so they're saying it's by Ellie Conway because they think they're real fucking clever, but it's not. It's a writer and the screenwriter worked together on it or something. Fuck off, Argylle. Just fuck off.
CS3P Combat. Player 1, choose your character.
Tired of film and television podcasts where the hosts exist in a blissful state of agreement?
Instructor. Player 2, choose your character.
Well, you're in luck.
Punter. Round 1, fight!
Allow me to introduce you to the Chinstroker vs. Punter podcast, featuring two film and television fans from Birmingham, England, who enjoy their media in very different ways.
But anyway, that brings us to the end of the plot of Blue Velvet.
The plot. I mean, the main characters are two of the dullest main characters I have ever encountered in any film.
So join us as we catch up on what we've been watching from our own very different perspectives.
Double KO. Round 2, fight!
You can find us at csvsp.libsyn.com, also on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, all the places that podcasts can be found.
Just really
It's not visually striking.
No.
Just getting confirmation.
It's just in That's the third time, though. I mean, is this on?
Okay, so what have you guys been up to?
We've not watched that much together actually this week, have we, Bex?
We haven't.
Should we do the ones we watched together though?
Yes, we can.
What did we watch? What did we watch?
Oh, I forgot to log this.
Did you?
Ooh.
Yeah,
I'll let you.
maybe I didn't want to tell Letterboxd that I'd watched it.
Wow.
So we watched the classic Pauly Shore movie, Biodome.
We did, yes. Who
course.
suggested Biodome?
I suggested Biodome.
You suggested Biodome, didn't you?
Yeah. I'm actually thinking of suggesting we watch that one with Carla Gugino in it as well.
Son-in-law?
Yeah.
Son-in-law's fucking great.
Mainly because I like Carla Gugino. I'd quite like to watch, what is it, Women in Trouble and... What's the other one? That's...
Electrolux.
Yeah, I don't mind watching them again, actually. Biodome's dumb as fuck. It's just really fucking dumb. But it's kind of funny.
It's not kind of funny.
It really has its moments. And it's obviously very much of the 90s. It's very much MTV generation movie. Movie, isn't it? But yeah, it's funny. I always forget what's his face is in it as well. Stephen Baldwin.
Yeah.
I always just remember the Pauly Shore and the Kylie-ness of it.
Yep.
It's funny.
It's a fun film.
It's fucking stupid.
Tenacious D in it as well.
Yeah.
It is a fun movie. It's weird that it's a just not shy 28-year-old movie that is about like environmental protections.
Yeah.
And it's 28 years ago.
Yeah.
So I think that element, the whole like element of it, of the crux of the story, wouldn't feel out of place now.
No.
But it kind of should feel out of place now. But it wouldn't. But yes, the whole like it is a very MTV generation styling of it and framing of it, and them being slacker element of it, and just the outright stupidity of it.
Do you know what feels unrealistic?
What?
That the government and the grown-ups in charge care about the environment.
Yeah. That's the most unrealistic bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stupid but fun. Like really stupid.
And we continued that, didn't we? Watching another stupid but fun film.
Yeah, we did. So we watched Deadpool 2. Obviously, Deadpool 3 shit's ramping up at the moment, isn't it? So
Yeah.
we've seen Deadpool enough times, I think, haven't we?
Yeah, I might rewatch Deadpool closer to the time,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I've seen Deadpool a lot more times. I've seen Deadpool 2.
Yes, yeah. It's got some really funny moments. This movie. I think I'm a bit tired of Ryan Reynolds, and he needs to take a little bit of a break. Has made me kind of misremember the Deadpool movies as being less funny than they are. They're really fucking good.
For me, I think Deadpool 2 gets better every time I watch it.
Yeah, I'd agree
Because
with
it's fun, it's stupid, it's very violent at points.
Yeah.
And all that's great.
Yeah.
All that is great. But the emotional beat, it does actually get quite right.
Yeah.
And fits them within the framework of the rest of the film.
Yeah, it does.
So, the genuinely, the bit where you have where he dies, and he actually dies, in it, and you get him essentially going across the barrier that he can't cross to her. And you've got, in a completely, and I put this in the boy chat, in a completely non-ironic, not piss-takey way, but you've got the acoustic unplugged version of Take On Me playing, which feels kind of, it's a really well done bit. Yeah. And you might watch it going, why is Deadpool 2 like genuinely making me tear up?
Yeah.
But it holds it for that, and then you get, but like literally just before, Juggernaut has been killed by having an electric wire stuck up his ass and pushed into a swimming pool.
I remember though, like the first time when it first came out, watching it, and it gets to the end and the credits roll and she's still dead, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
They can't leave her dead. And then it's just like this fucking like post credits scene. Like if you are not a person that stays for post credits, she's still dead in your mind.
But it's I very much enjoyed my rewatch of Deadpool 2. It is a lot of fun, but it is also an actually good film as well. I'm now very much looking forward to Deadpool 3. I think it should end there. I definitely don't think that it should hang up the red suit after that, which I think he's pretty much come out and said he's going to. But
what do you think he won't even like make guest appearances in MCU films?
I think there's an element that he might do that as a shits and giggles kind of thing, but I don't think he's going to crop. I think it'll be literally one scene bits. I don't think he'll be in it for like a 10-15 minute sequence. I think it'll be literally a one scene where he takes the piss out of them or something like that.
This branch of Marvel, though, I find much more interesting at this stage than the other branch of Marvel, like the X-Men Deadpool branch.
Yeah.
Is Venom part of that as well?
No, that's another part that's more interesting than what's actually going on in the MCU.
Yeah. I just, this side of it, like, I'd watch rebooted X-Men shit. I'd watch more X-Men shit.
I mean, you're gonna get to, because they're gonna do it.
We need something to fucking reboot it.
Also, as well, I don't know, we said this before, but it's such a shame that TJ Miller's a dickhead.
So funny.
Because man, that guy's funny.
Yeah.
I know that doesn't excuse the fact that he is a bit of a dickhead, but he's got good line delivery.
He really does. Yeah, it is a shame.
Yeah.
That he's a dick.
Yeah.
What? I don't really understand.
I mean, that shirt cocking it is a great line.
I actually think, and I know you don't agree, but I think Julian Dennison's a really good actor as well.
No, he's not.
He's really good in Hunt for the Wilder People.
I'm fine, but he's not a good actor, man. He's
I
just
like him.
not.
I think he's good in this. I think he's really good in this. I think maybe it's just because I like listening to his voice. I like his accent.
He's not very good. He's just not. What have you been on your lonesome there, Rebecca?
I've read a lot.
Cool.
Actually, I have done some things, haven't I? Okay. So, Ian alerted me to the fact that the Silent Hill short message short game / demo project thing.
Yeah.
Was dropping. The PlayStation store had crashed.
Yeah. It crashed the PlayStation store.
Yeah. So Silent Hill broke the PlayStation store. It eventually started working again. I downloaded it at about midnight?
Felt that, yeah.
And played it for a good long while. It's the first game in a while that I've had to stop because it was late at night and it was a bit scary. And it's mainly because of that cherry blossom bitch. She's a cunt. She just chases you. So there's no combat in it. Basically, it's a basic story. I haven't finished it yet, but I'll get to it. It's not even that long. I think it's about an hour and a half, but I just haven't been able to get back to it. So she's trying to find her friend in this abandoned apartment building, but then she's also texting with another friend, and the other friend's referencing the fact that the friend that she's trying to find is dead and committed suicide, and this apartment building is like a really popular suicide spot. So obviously the end of the game, I'm assuming, will wrap the story up and why she's gone to this apartment building to find a dead friend. I think under the, she's talking about her as though she's alive. But it's very much about bullying and being young in a always online age.
All right.
So it's doing some really interesting stuff there. So, but the actual gameplay itself it's very, very much like a lot of people have sort of mentioned it. It's very similar in tone to PT.
Oh God, you people are obsessed with that.
Okay, really good. So in PT, did you play PT, Ian?
I tried it. I didn't get very far.
Did you ever?
Scary.
Did you meet Lisa?
No.
Okay. So in PT, basically, you walk along a corridor and out the other end, and then keep starting again, and then things change as you're going through, and you investigate things. So it's very similar to that in that sense. You're walking through this abandoned building. You're exploring the things in the room. You're finding it's much more fleshed out than PT was, but it's similar in that sense. There's that no combat whatsoever. You can't even run in it. You can't collect things. There's nothing to collect. You're just walking around investigating stuff. But then every once in a while, because you're using your phone as your torch, which I think is a really quite a nice touch. You always get torches in games.
Yeah.
People don't use torches; they use their phones. So you're using your phone as your torch to investigate this place. And obviously you're getting texts from this other girl as well. But every once in a while it'll go really staticky just before you're about to open a door, and on the other side of that fucking door, Cherry Blossom bitch is there. So you open the door, Cherry Blossom bitch is there. She totters towards you and she walks really funny. It's very like J-horror-y kind of movements. From this thing, and but it's Silent Hill. So when shit gets weird, she gets weird. The walls all peel and it goes very industrial, and the layout of the room you've just come through and the area you've just come through is completely changed. So it's not even like you can prepare yourself for it by backtracking and going, right, okay, so I need to turn right and then I need to turn left. You've got all completely changes and you just have to fucking run. And you can't stop. You can't really stop. And like, if you miss a corridor, you can't go back to it because she's right fucking behind you, and you just have to run. And it's absolutely terrifying. And if she catches you, you've got no way of defending yourself. You're just dead. And you have to start the whole thing again. Not the whole thing.
I don't.
The whole run.
I don't.
So it's quite scary. I had to stop and hug the cat. But it's really good. It looks really good. Story-wise, it's interesting. I just can't wait for the new one. I just really want the new one to come out.
What, Silent Hill 2 remake?
Yeah.
Have you seen like the kind of like the gameplay stuff they put out for that the other day?
I haven't really had a chance to have a look at it, to be honest. I say that I'm hyper fixating on my book at the moment, so there's that. I've not really had chance. I want to be able to sit down and watch it when I can sit down and watch it and properly concentrate on it. Have you watched it?
Yeah, it's weird because it's they're doing third person over the shoulder like Resident Evil remakes. But yeah, it's a lot of smacking scary shit in the face, which I don't know. I'd be intrigued to see your thoughts.
I'll have a look. Yeah. So the rest of the stuff that I've been doing, I'm carrying on with my Dark Tower series reread. I'm getting sort of towards the end of that now, so I don't really know what I'm going to do with myself after I finish that, because it's an epic 7-book long odyssey. I always feel a little bit lost after I finish them, so and then I think the only other thing I did on my own... Oh no, 2 things. I rewatched Tick Tick Boom. I was a bit worried about rewatching Tick Tick Boom, actually, because it's... I had to watch... I finished work 3 hours before Mark finished work, and needed something to do. I was like, I've been wanting to rewatch Tick Tick Boom. I was a bit worried about rewatching it on a tiny screen. But it's fine. It's not like it's got loads of action set pieces that you need to be able to see on large scale. But I was just a bit worried because I really loved it when it first came out that it wouldn't stand up. And it really does. It's a bit of a gut punch, this Tick Tick Boom. And very, very good performance from Andrew Garfield. Holds up, very good. I think that was really high in my films of the year.
I think it was, yeah. I think it was top. I think it was top 3. I think.
Yeah. And then a previous film of the year for Becky. I also rewatched RRR.
You did watch Triple R, didn't you?
I did.
Fuck yeah.
Honestly, I said to you after I'd watched it, no hyperbole, if I was asked to put together my top 10 movies of all time, this would be in there.
That's awesome.
It is fucking perfection in a movie. It is so good. I've had the Comran Bean song stuck in my head since. It's just so fucking good. Like, it's such a huge, epic, awesome undertaking. Like, and it 100% does not feel its length at all.
It's good time.
It is so good. And that fucking central dance number. The fact that it's this story about, like, these revolutionaries, right? So, like, real people, but a fake story. It's quite serious. And then it's got, like, an ending dance number. I love that. All films should have that. Yeah. It's just wonderful. It's such a good time. Oh, and the bit where they fucking...
I mean, you're right.
The bit where they clasp hands under the bridge and then the fucking RRR thing comes up behind them. And
yes,
like...
the title card for the film comes up 45 minutes into it.
Yeah. Oh. I want it on 4K, but you can't get it. I want to be able to watch it in the original language it was filmed with subtitles, rather than having to watch it in one of the options that Netflix gives you, which none of them is the language it was filmed in.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. That's weird, that. Like, why is that?
I don't know. It's very irritating. But yeah, it's just not been brought out. Just bonkers. It's a fucking Oscar winner.
It would sell. That's the thing.
Sell,
like, there's got to be some sort of distribution reason around that.
Apparently, there is like rights stuff with movies from that market are complicated. Apparently, I was reading about why it wasn't a thing.
So, Becky, you did some research into why a film wasn't available on 4K.
Yeah. I'm still not as much of a nerd as you. I don't know what aspect ratio it was filmed in.
Yeah, you do.
I don't really understand aspect ratios. But yeah, I mean, I'm not normally... I do like physical media, but I'm very much not I need to have this on 4K kind of person, because it's just not something that, like, is on my radar, really. But I just really want it in our cinema cupboard.
That's fair.
We still need to make the curtains for that.
We do need to make the curtains, yeah.
We're gonna make some red velvet curtains for our cupboard in our TV.
Yeah, you 100% need to make some curtains.
Yeah, I definitely want to do that. But yeah, that's me. That's all I've done. But yeah, honestly, anyone out there that hasn't seen RRR yet, please watch it on Netflix. It is wonderful.
Yes. Do you want me to do my name?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Right.
Matt's about to lower the tone, everyone.
I'm not about to lower the tone. I mean, I can take it low. I have a low one. I have one with low in the title. I watched the 2013 movie The To-Do List, which stars Aubrey Plaza. Johnny Simmons, who just disappeared, didn't he? That fucker was in everything for 3 years. Nothing. That fucking guy. Bill Hader, Ali Shawkat, Andy Samberg turns up. Donald Glover turns up. It's a fun kind of coming of age naughty comedy where Aubrey Plaza plays a girl, Brandy Clark. It's set in the mid-90s, the early 90s, 93 I think it is, where she plays like a high-achieving high schooler who it turns out has achieved so high but has no sexual experience at all and decides to approach this way you would do a school project. So she creates a literal to-do list.
Is that Aubrey Plaza smiling on the front of that?
Yeah. Of things that she's got to do to kind of build her sex education. And so it builds like a coming-of-age drama around that.
Yeah.
And it's quite funny at points. Bill Hader is the star of it. She works at like a local community swimming pool, and he like runs the swimming pool.
Right.
But the hook is he can't swim himself, and he lives there. Yeah, it's a good time. It's fun. It's a fun film. What else have we got? We watched a film that is called that has like 3 names. So it's either called The Bagman, which is not a very good name.
Not as bad as Longlegs, though, eh?
Not as bad as Longlegs. Motel, which is a slightly better name, or The Carrier, which is a mildly better name, but still not a good name. This is one of those random kind of movies that has people in it that people know that comes out that nobody knows that it's come out, and then people see like years later.
Probably because it's got 3 different fucking names.
So it stars John Cusack, Robert De Niro, and Crispin Glover turn up in this. Crispin Glover in one of the most Crispin Glover of roles that is out there. So De Niro plays this gangster who one of the guys who works for him is John Cusack, and he tells him at the start of the movie, you need to pick up this bag, take it to this motel room, sit there, and I will come and pick it up. But you are not allowed to look in the bag. You do not look in the bag.
Right.
And he's like, fine, but why can't you just get somebody else? Why do I have to pick this up? Why can't you just get somebody else to pick it up? And he's like, is it what's in the bag? Is it dangerous? She's like, it's not dangerous. I just need you to pick it up. So he goes to pick up the bag, and all hell breaks loose, and people keep trying to kill him.
Right.
And it's all set like in a hotel room. A lot of John Cusack movies are set in hotel rooms. It's not like it's all set around the hotel complex, but there's a lot of like John Cusack stays in a lot of hotels in films.
Yeah.
On motels. It's 10 minutes too long.
Yeah.
The girl at Rebecca DaCosta, the Brazilian actress, is really fucking good in it. But then she's been in nothing ever since. But she's good in this. She's a good screen pencil along it. But I had a good time with it, but it very much is for people who like this era of Jean Cusack movies. De Niro's fun in it because he very much is he's just playing a real fucking piece of shit. And I mean, there's a point in it where his character, somebody who works for him, a girl who works for him, fucks up something and it costs him some money. So he basically breaks her nose just because then he can feel better about it because he's done something about it. But he breaks her nose, but he's going to pay for the reconstructive surgery to get her, what is it? But he just really wanted to punch her in the face. And it's done in a really fucking menacing way. It's a weird film, but I enjoyed it enough. It was a decent lunchtime watch, but it's not. Nobody needs to rush out and go and see it.
Not like Triple R.
Not like Triple R, no. I watched Bull Durham, the Ron Shelton, Kevin Costner, Susan Sarandon and Tim Robbins movie. Honestly, it put the entire film going, who the fuck is Bill Durham? And the baseball team here are called the Durham Bulls. Before I realised, wait a minute, it's Bull Durham, not Bill Durham.
Good. Yep, well done.
For a good amount of time. And then once I realised, I was like, it doesn't even look like an eye. I don't know where I've got Bill Durham from. This is one of those, like, 80s to early 90s movies that was made for grown-ups. That this is the sort of grown-up movie that we don't tend to get as many of. It's not we don't get them anymore, but we don't get as many of. Which is getting big Hollywood stars to just star in like a bit of a caper movie. There's just a bit of jollying around, and that's all there really is in it. So it's all set around like the minor league of baseball, and Tim Robbins playing a young like it's his first season, but he's destined to go on to the big leagues, or what they call in the film the show. And Susan Sarandon's character is a woman who just kind of really likes baseball and picks one player every year to essentially have a relationship with for that season. And that's it. And the team, basically because Tim Robbins' character is a bit of a wild card, they bring in Kevin Costner's character, who's at the end of his career, to kind of come in and mentor him. And that's kind of how the film goes. And of course, there's a bit of a love triangle bit going on. It's incredibly like throwaway and a lot more kind of comedy than I expected, and not really that much of a sports film. but I had a good enough time with it. It's quite funny. It's quite fun. Yeah, it's all right. It was a good. It'd be an okay elliptical watch, Ian.
Yeah, I mean, bless you. It's never going to happen, but I appreciate it.
I think it's just I quite like Kevin Costner as a screen presence. I think that era of Costner is very watchable for me.
Oh, for sure.
I watched a film called Lower Learning.
What?
Stars Jason Biggs, Eva Longoria, Monica Porter, and Rob Corddry. Rob Corddry plays like the principal of this school, but he plays it as just like an absolute piece of shit, who is essentially he's extorted the entire school budget and embezzled it all to himself. And he's using it to like pay some of like a lot of the kids to like to be like his slaves. And he's trying to get the school shut down, because if the school gets shut down, nobody will realise that he's embezzled all of this money. But it's done in very typical Rob Corddry ways. And the vice principal, played by Jason Biggs, finds out about this and is trying to stop it. But Rob Corddry is just not letting him, and about halfway through the film, for no explainable reason, he hires the school band, or parts of the school band, to just follow him around playing theme music for him. And so they do that, but just really badly. but it's not explained in the film, and it just makes no real sense. The film makes no real sense. Eva Longoria plays a school inspector that just has a really bad drug habit, which goes nowhere. It's not a good film. Yeah. I actually kind of enjoyed it, but it's not a good film. Has a great...
Do you think sometimes you watch too many films?
No, I don't. I don't think I watch enough.
Okay, alright, that's fine. That's good.
I can devour this shit like a motherfucker.
Nom, nom, nom.
Exactly, yeah. Yes, this is my num-nums. I mean, there's a point where Rob Corddry is in urinal taking a leak next to Jason Biggs and basically keeps ordering to flush his urinal for him. And then when he's going, I'm not going to do that, he turns round to him and just says, "You're just a fluffer in this titty flick." And then walks away, and the band that he's hired just walk off behind him, playing sinister music badly. And you're actually going, I can't believe I'm watching this. And what's worse is, I can't believe I found that quite funny. And then my final one for this week is, I watched City Slickers 2, The Legend of Curly's Gold.
Good.
I legit think that City Slickers is a fucking great movie, not just a movie that Mark thinks is a great movie. City Slickers is a great, fun adventure movie. And City Slickers 2 is almost a great, fun adventure movie. But the problem is with City Slickers 2, The Legend of Curly's Gold, is it's good, it's fine, it's fun. You don't have Bruno Kirby in shorts in it like you do in City Slickers. And he's been replaced by John Lovett, who is more fun to spend time with than Bruno Kirby. But the problem with City Slickers 2 isn't that it's not very good or the story doesn't kind of make any sense. The problem with City Slickers 2 is, while you're watching it, you could have been watching City Slickers instead. And that's just a better movie. So, if City Slickers 2 had come out and City Slickers 2 was just the first City Slickers movie with the same kind of plot and the first 10 minutes was just what had happened in City Slickers, it'd be fine. It'd still be a fun movie. The problem is, there's no reason why you would ever watch City Slickers 2 when you can watch City Slickers instead. But it is But it is a fun movie. It's just shy of 2 hours long. It never outstays its welcome. Billy Crystal's again just fun in it. It's what's wild though is he's celebrating his 40th birthday in this, and I'm looking at Billy Crystal in this going, I don't feel too bad about being 40 now. if that's what 40 looked like in 1994, I think I'm doing all right at 41. Either that, or the other thought that crossed my mind when I thought that was, oh holy shit! What if I think I look all right, and that's what I look like? Yeah, it's a good time, but you just would watch City Slickers instead.
But like, so like, if you ever watch City Slickers 1 again, will you be like, right, I'll watch Legend of Curly's Gold now?
Probably, I'd probably watch it not straight afterwards, but probably a few weeks later, I probably would end up watching it. But while I was watching it, I would still be thinking, I could be watching City Slickers instead. At no point in any of the points in City Slickers 2 is it better than City Slickers, apart from the Bruno Kirby John Lovett switch out, because John Lovett's character just randomly just starts going into these like monologues which are basically just Godfather Part 2. He just starts doing scenes from Godfather Part 2. But it's John Lovett's doing it, so it's really funny.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a good time.
Yeah, there's a bit where it's something, because he plays Billy Crystal's brother, and like he's basically saying to Billy Crystal, you know, oh, when did you give Phil, who's played by Daniel Stern, his friend, says, when did you give him a job? And he's like, oh, about 6 months ago. He went, oh, right. So around the time where I contacted you and said, I don't suppose you have a job that you could give me about 6 months ago. And he goes, well, no, but... And then he just goes into the whole, the speech towards the end of Godfather Part 2, where John Cazale's sat down, he's like sat down in the chair. He just does that speech. And Billy Crystal keeps kind of like trying to like interrupt him by like responding to it, and he keeps doing it, and then Billy Crystal's character's like, wait, is this the Godfather Part 2 again? And he's like, and he carries on doing it because stop. What does the Godfather Part 2 have anything to do with this? And this happens like 4 or 5 times throughout the movie.
Nice.
To the point of where Daniel Stern's character just starts teeing him up for stuff. Like, he'll just say something. And it'll like, at one point he goes, oh my God, what would Mo Green do in this in this situation? And he'll just start going off into something. Oh, maybe it is better than I thought it was.
Nice, good.
Sorry, Ian, what have you been up to now?
Deary me, good stuff. Yeah, so I've got a few. So yeah, I mean, Iron Claw. We'll talk about it next week. Spoiler alert: 4.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd for me.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that you give it 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah, good. Yeah, good movie.
Oh,
good
so
movie.
there's Zac Efron. It's a sports movie. There's a lot of shirtless men, and it's kind of a broken man-y kind of vibe. It looks like from the front of it. I think this could be a 5-star banger for Mark.
It's a very, very extremely Mark's shit. Like, very, very much. Zac Efron in it literally looks like, at times, he's got like not a fat suit, but like a suit for just
muscles. How
bulky he is. It's fucking bonkers.
Yeah, I saw a thing of him talking about, like, he was saying, someone was asking about his workout routine and everything like this, and all this stuff. I was saying, oh, you did amazing body transformation, all this stuff. Like, what I don't get is, everyone keeps telling me how amazing this is, and how it's great. And he said, it's terrible. He said, but nobody was giving me credit for this as an actor when I did it for Baywatch.
Is
he good in
a lot bigger in this than he is in... It feels like more of a transformation. I mean, don't get me wrong, Baywatch was a transformation. He looks fucking incredible in it, but it is... Like, it is wild. Anyway, we'll talk about it next week. So, yeah. Watched the new Illumination film, Migration.
Oh, yeah.
With Lots and her friends. Yeah, there's not too much to say about this, to be honest. It's barely a film.
I have heard that.
It's kind. Yeah, it's really weird. It's like there's this overall plot of ducks decide to migrate to Jamaica. I don't know what I was going to say. Jamaica, for the winter, and then it literally feels like. And then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then they're in Jamaica at the end. It's... Oh, I mean, like, Lottie, I was talking to her about it, and she was just like, yeah, there wasn't really a story. It was just lots of funny bits. Yeah, like, usually, like, she comes out with, yeah, I liked it. Or something like that. But, like, yeah, it was actually... I don't know, she was kind of understanding the nuances of there's not much to it.
Yeah.
Which was interesting to hear, actually. It's odd, because the story starts with Kumail Nanjiani, like, voicing the dad duck, basically reading telling his kids a bedtime story. It's basically, never go away from the pond, otherwise you'll be killed.
Oh. Fair.
But so I kind of thought, what? So they're doing Finding Nemo, then, are they? But then he basically has his mind changed, because he's just like he talks to his uncle, voiced by Danny DeVito, and he was like, "Yeah, you'll be like me. You'll be lonely for the rest of your life if you don't let them go." And he's like, "Oh, all right then, we're gonna go." And he's never got any problem with it again. So there's not really any kind of like emotional arcs to this. There's like a bit in the third act where the dad says to the son, like, no, you need to listen to me, and just don't think, just do what I'm saying. And then like 2 minutes later, it's kind of resolved, and it's just things on screen that happen. It's just a nothing of a film. There's some funny bits in it. It has its moments. Definitely, like basically all in the trailer. And then it ended. I mean, the kids enjoyed it enough. It's really, really, really short. There's a Despicable Me short at the start, and I swear, even with that, we were out of there an hour and 25 in.
Oh.
With like a 10-minute short at the start. Like, it is a very, very short film. And yeah, the thing is, it's like, if you gave it another 10 minutes, I mean, you could probably have some like character stuff in it. There's just no character stuff in it. It's just a family basically going from one place to the other, and they have stops along the way.
So is the short, is that part of the movie, or is that before the movie? It's like a little short before.
It's before the movie.
It's like the movie here, 83 minutes. Migration.
I think that
credits as well, won't you?
What does the key thing would be, what does the BBFC say? Because like they'll basically rate everything after the BBFC card, and that like the short was after the BBFC card.
Oh wow! So it wasn't like you used to get years ago in cinemas back. I mean, I remember that we used to get a cartoon before it.
No, yeah. So here we go. I'll have a look now.
Migration. Let's have a look.
Details. 91 minutes.
91 minutes.
Yeah, there you go. So the film itself then is 83 minutes. Like hour and a quarter and then 8 minutes of credits. That sounds probably about right, actually.
Fucking hell. That's short for a film, isn't it? 75 minutes. I know we said there's a lot of films too long nowadays, but that just feels a little bit something went wrong.
I kind of don't know where you'd add to it though. That's the thing. And it said the screenplay was written by Mike White.
Yeah.
And it can't be that Mike White.
Yeah, it's that Mike White, yeah.
It honestly is such a nothing of a film.
I mean, you've also got to remember that he also wrote the Emoji Movie. And he's writing Despicable Me 4.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. Like, there's
weird career. That
actually
guy's
no.
had.
It just there's nothing there. I mean, God, that's a paycheck. I just feel like his name like carries some cachet now because of the White Lotus. And he's just writing fucking bollocks like bobbins like this. It's not hateful or anything. There's a funny bit with a heron voiced by Carol Kane when they're not too sure whether it's evil or not. Quite enjoyed that. Actually, do you know what? That's like a 5-10 minute sequence that's actually alright. So, there's that. But yeah, okay, so there you go, Migration. Like, 2 out of 5.
Fair.
Just nothing. There's just nothing to it. It's not like the worst thing you'll see this year. It looks nice, and it passes the time okay. Yeah, there you go. All right, so lastly for me, the Kingsman films. So Kingsman Secret Service, I think, is the best of the lot.
Is that the first one?
Yeah. Samuel L. Jackson, he's great as the villain. Sophia Boutella, kind of mentioned her earlier on, really, really good as his henchman. It's got some fun, ballsy stuff in it. The Colin Firth sequence in that church, where he's killing everyone because they're all being affected by that mobile signal, is really, really, really good.
Yeah, they all become really violent because of it, and because he's like super trained, he can be like unbelievably violent.
Yeah, so he just kills everybody in there, basically. Yeah. It's something. And then also, I mean, like, you know, they backtrack on this in the sequel, but it's pretty ballsy that they just straight up off Colin Firth in the second act.
Yeah, but then they fuck it up in the sequel. And I really like the sequel. But yeah, it was a little bit like...
I like the sequel as well, and but it does feel like the weight's taken away from it. But the way then in the third act, it's Eggsy and the girl who's then rather unceremoniously killed off like 10 minutes into the sequel. They have to go it alone. It's really well handled actually. The sexual humor of these films is not great. Maybe you know, I mean, like
it's not. It's just a little bit.
It feels like something Bond would do if it was allowed to, though.
Yeah, it just feels a little bit juvenile.
Yeah, and I mean, there is that. But I've got to say, like her when she says, like, if you save the world, you can do it up the asshole.
Yeah,
and then like the cut to him just going like, "I'll be right back." It's funny. It's a funny reaction out of Taron Egerton. And then in the Golden Circle, they kind of redo that with Colin Firth saying to Elton John, if I save the world, can I have a ticket to your next concert? And Elton John says, if you save the world, you can have a backstage pass. It's pretty good.
I mean, the Elton John and the fucking killer dog robot things, and he just puts his face in front of it to save Colin Firth, and it just says "friend," Elton John friend. It is really funny. That's great. I know I'm bouncing to the Golden Circle slightly, but the bit where Julianne Moore is like showing off like the test stages of that like blue virus thing in the drugs, and then she gives Elton John the antidote, and Elton John just goes, "Get me out of here, you fucking bitch!" It's great. He's so angry. He's really, really locked in. He's on board. He's having a good laugh with being Elton John is in this as Elton John. Yeah. No, he's great. But look, Secret Service. I really, really like it. Golden Circle, I think is also decent. I think it does a good job of kind of expanding the world. I think Mark Strong gets some good stuff to do in it as well. Him kind of like singing Country Roads and then blowing up's good. But I will say the Julianne Moore of it, she feels very one note. And it, you know, it almost feels a bit like it's a bit of a trick they're playing where she's the bad guy, but then you've also got the US president, who's actually worse, like her or the US president going, actually, I'm going to play along, and then this is a really good chance to basically end the war on drugs forever because everybody who's been taking drugs will die. You know, like, so you've got that in there as well. Then Pedro Pascal is like this third part where, you know, he's like, actually, I agree with the president and I've got my reasons for it. And it's so... the Julianne Moore thing, it almost feels like it's kind of like the window dressing of the bad guy when she's not really the bad guy that they actually have the battle against. Because, again, like, they basically just get her ODing on that blue stuff and she dies. Yeah.
And obviously, you know, you're probably not going to have Julianne Moore having a fight sequence, but it all just feels like, okay, so they're playing up this 50s Americana kind of bit with her, and she's vicious. Like, she gets that guy to feed Keith Allen into a meat grinder and then serves up Keith Allen burgers. Again, that's the kind of like the batshit kind of stuff that I enjoy that Matthew Vaughn does.
Yeah, that's fun. It's funny.
It's a comic booky kind of film. Well, it's based on a graphic novel, and that's kind of stuff that you'd never get in an MCU. You will never get that. So, but yeah, I like Pedro Pascal in it. Channing Tatum basically is a cameo. I forgot how little he is actually in it. He's basically in it for 10 minutes and then gets frozen for the rest of the film. But yeah, no, it's fun. It is nice to see Colin Firth back, despite the fact that the film is 2.25 hours long, and it almost feels like maybe you could have actually cut out the 20-25 minutes of Colin Firth material, and you could have had something a little bit more concise. Yeah. But then, I like the way that it ends with actually just getting married and off he goes, maybe, unless he rocks up in Argylle 2 or 3 or Argylle the Fourth Book or whatever the fuck they're going to call it. So yeah, I like these films. And then you've got The King's Man, which I think has been done a disservice by the fact that it had its release delayed so much because of COVID. It is an odd film, is The King's Man. It is both quite contemplative. There's the 20-minute section where Harris Dickinson goes to war, and then it's just really grim. It doesn't play out like he thinks it's going to. And then he's shot in the head because the people think he's a German spy. I mean, you've got that sequence, but then you've also got Rhys Ifans playing
Rasputin,
sex pest Rasputin. Tom Hollander, literally credited as Tom Hollander cubed in the credits, playing 3 characters, and a mid-credits sting that unveils that the next film's big bad will be Adolf Hitler. It is such a weird tonal what the fuck is going on that if you do not vibe with it, it's got to be like nails down a chalkboard. But I vibe with it. I enjoy it. Ralph Fiennes is giving it some welly with this. He convinces as a guy kicking some ass. He also convinces as a guy who feels incredible guilt for his wife dying, and now he's taking it out on his son. But you know what? Also, he was kind of right, but also his son was also kind of right, because without what his son did, they wouldn't be able to win the war, basically. It's this really complex emotional stuff, but it also has a mid-credit sting where Adolf Hitler is as revealed as the sequel's villain, where Rhys Ifans eats out Ralph Fiennes' leg while Ralph Fiennes moans, in a weird sexual pleasure way.
God, yeah, I remember that bit now.
It is honestly the Rhys Ifans stuff, and then he's dead like an hour into the film. The Rhys Ifans stuff is great. I mean, they must have just been laughing after every single take doing that shit.
Yeah.
Just in a how are we being allowed to do this? Like what? And that film is a 15, like Kingsman and Kingsman and the Golden Circle, and like you say, Argylle with the 12. It does kind of feel like it's missing that more subversive stuff.
Yeah.
It is trying to actually play to a bit of a wider audience, and there is a little something lost there. I'd agree. So yeah, I rate all the Kingsman films. I think the first one is the best. I think The King's Man is interesting, and fair play to him for making it. So yeah, there we are. That is that. Twitter questions.
I shall just find them on my phone. Only got one this week. We always appreciate them. Okay. Rick Kidd, what are your favourite Sam Rockwell performances? Moon. I mean, Moon has to be up there, doesn't it? As I think probably his best performance.
He is good in Iron Man 2, mind.
He is good.
He might be the best part of Iron Man 2.
Yeah, he's very good in that, actually, isn't he?
The cat agrees.
Cat does agree, yeah. Let's have a look. Try to think of what else there is. Because I think there's one that we're all missing. I mean, he's very good in Green Mile, isn't he?
He's great in Seven Psychopaths.
He's very good in Seven Psychopaths. I mean, he's fantastic in The Sitter. He's great in The Sitter. When he keeps ranking who's his best friends. It's a fucking good film, is The Sitter. I don't care what anyone says. As he's long established, and I don't care what anyone says about films that I like.
He's wonderful in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy as well.
Oh god, yeah, he's in that, isn't he?
Yeah, he's brilliant as Zaphod.
Yeah. I know that it's probably a little bit like you're not really supposed to say this because the film has weirdly, and his performance has weirdly kind of been like stealth cancelled, but he is very good in Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Yep.
You know, he's really good in it. You know, what Martin McDonagh has done there is really fucking clever in the sense that he's written a piece of shit person, but just saying, look, just because this guy's a piece of shit doesn't mean to say that he can't at some point do something good. Yeah.
I mean, and as much as you don't like the film, he's very good in Jojo Rabbit.
He is, because he's great at emotional beats. Actually, do you know what's a really weird, like, low-key one that I really liked? I really liked his performance in it. The Way Back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's as like a kind of mentor, like big brother figure that he ends up becoming for this kid. And there's a bit where he has a bit of a standoff with Steve Carell in it, and he's really fucking good in it. But he also gets to do the Sam Rockwell fucking just uber charisma Sam Rockwell bits as well. Yeah. So yeah, but he's just fucking great. And Sam Rockwell, you know, you can have a good time when Sam Rockwell turns up.
Seven Psychopaths is probably my favourite, though.
Yeah.
I love that film.
Yeah, it's a very good film, yes. Yeah, that was it. Questions. What are we covering next week, Ian?
Nice. Okay, so yeah, next week will be the Iron Claw. And American Fiction. Yeah,
Looking
that's
forward
right.
to that. That's a good week, that.
Yeah, that is going to be a good week, I think. American Fiction isn't playing too many places actually, but I suppose it feels like it hasn't really had that much like hoo-ha around it either, considering it's like been nominated for quite a lot of Oscars.
Yeah, it is a bit of a strange one, that.
Yeah, but we shall talk about that them next week.
Yep.
So I feel like you had more to say, Mark. Sorry.
No, I didn't know. No, that was it.
No. Okay. All right. So thank you very much for listening, folks. We'll be back next week. I've been Ian Loring. Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you very much, Ian.
Thank you very much, Becky.
Thank you very much, Ian.
Sam Taylor Johnson. You're on the list.
Be very fucking careful.
Be very, very careful. Even though, to be fair, I kind of feel like if this goes badly, it could actually be the last thing she ever makes. And if she were a man, that probably wouldn't be the case. So actually, do you know what? I'm going to let her off. Jason Reitman.
I would also say, though, about Sam Taylor Johnson that if, let's say, she were a man and she was in a long-standing relationship with a person that she directed when that person was 15 years old, she might not be working again as well. Although Luke Besson exists.
Yeah.
Also a fair point. Bye. I don't know how we follow that up. Bye. Before we say anything else.
It's litigious. Not saying anything dodgy went on.
Yes.
I'm just saying the optics of it are
Not great.
not great.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's it. Bye. Bye, guys. Bye.